It's On the Block with Strick and Bach.
Hold up.
Happy Monday to everyone. You're listening to On the Block with Strick and Nate. I think we had a different name for it at one point in time. We're going to have to do a different intro, too, because Bach will be gone for 2.5 weeks. He has already headed to Omaha. He's helping with all the setup and stuff like that for the College World Series. He will not be seeing my Hokies. I already ranted about that. If you listen to the water cooler at all, we might get into that a little bit because that's nonsense. And we have a former NCAA athlete, the Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet. He'll probably speak on that too. But like I said, it'll be me for the next 2.5 weeks. We got a packed show for you too. We'll have SIP early break at 4:25. Shootout with Strick. Obviously, we're going to talk all NCAA baseball hitting the hardwood. Finals Game 5 is tonight. LeBron James says that he wants to enter the media realm following Tom Brady. He's also now officially a billionaire, so that might go into the decision-making too. But we got a packed show for you. And like I said, I am joined by the Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and NBA vet, Eric Strickland. What's going on, man?
Microphone is
Got to pull that
way
down.
up there.
That's all right.
It's going good today, man. It's the weekend was quite interesting.
Quite interesting. Is that a good thing or bad thing?
Well, first of all, of course I was traveling, so
Right.
it was you know what I'm beginning to believe? I'm beginning to believe that big corporations and the likes are figuring out loopholes themselves. So for all this time, we've been kind of figuring out what the loopholes and how we can play,
Right.
the system a little bit, and the small print and how to work and navigate that. And a lot of people was using COVID at some point to get around a lot of different things. And I just think big corps are pushing back a little bit, right? And here's what I say. I'm traveling. Of course, you're flying in the airline,
Right.
Big corporations. Southwest Airlines, I believe there's probably weather out there, but I think sometimes there's some made up weather out there, because if you're going to get delayed where your flight might get canceled or the situation may change and a pilot maybe not come up
There's
short,
like a pilot shortage right now or something
So
like that, which
you've
goes
got
into
that.
it too.
right? But I think sometimes they throw out weather, because here's why. Weather allows you to be able to not have to take care of extra things that you would normally have to take care of if you're dealing with passengers and situations like that. So if you get stuck in an airport, if the big corporations throw out weather, they don't have to pay for
You
your
don't have to worry
hotel,
about it, right?
and you just
Nothing we
stuck in
can
the
do.
You're stuck
Right.
in the airport, whether you're sleeping on your bags or you're trying to get comfortable on some form of the
Right.
chairs. And that didn't happen. But let me tell you, Stricky was a little ahead of them. I was watching them very closely. And I was coming, I think I was in Milwaukee. Yeah, I was in St. Louis. And come to find out, bro, Nate, let me tell you, I was getting the messages. It went from delay, 8 o'clock,
That's the
9:30,
worst. That's the worst.
10:15, 10:20, 11, back to 10. Then it just kept going to 1, right?
Right.
I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to get on this Chicago flight. You weren't here. I told Bach about it. But then it just really just dawned on me that I think they're sometimes I think there's weather out there, but I think sometimes they're expanding the weather profiles. I mean, I think they're kind of figuring that out. So I got delayed. Coming back got delayed. There was frustration, so I didn't get in until about 1. Had a good day. Saturday of relaxation, and then Sunday a little fun day. And so it ended up being good. Ultimately,
Not too bad.
I at least made it.
Honestly, flying is a nightmare, because the problem that I have is if you're going to cancel the flight, just cancel it.
Right.
Stop delaying just hour after hour after hour. Just cancel it.
Yeah.
At least help me out so I can hop on another flight.
Or hop another flight.
Right.
But I'm starting to figure them out a little bit. I'm getting ahead of them. So it was this last flight.
It's a
And then check
nightmare.
this out, man. This is guy. He's not doing anything until tomorrow, but he's slow playing the desk. And so I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get on this one. You're trying to go tomorrow. Can you just allow her to make the switch
Do a little
so I
switcheroo.
can just
Right.
jump on this plane right now? But
right.
just blessings that
It's
they
all
didn't take
this
off. I'm seeing the
nonsense.
captain go back on there, and I'm thinking I'm SOL.
So what were you doing during that entire time? You just watching Netflix?
Man, I tried to get a little food. I'm gonna be doing some scenes for this movie this weekend.
Yeah,
so
there
I
you
was
go.
Getting a chance to read the script, and I was just doing all kinds of stuff like that, man. So I was passing good time, but then it gets to that point where it's a long time.
Just exhausted.
And I hated that I wasn't an American because I have like lounge privileges with
Oh,
Americans.
nice.
So I can go into the lounge and you can eat and
There you
drink
go.
some
Get a couple
wine.
drinks. Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
yeah, that didn't work out. But what are we gonna talk about today?
Well, James says, of course, I was traveling is what will be on Strick's tombstone. LOL. So I guess people are bringing up Strick does like to travel. Now, do you got a lot of miles? Are you traveling for free?
No, I just have a little bit of status.
See, that's what you got to have now because flights are. I was looking because I'm trying to go back for a Virginia Tech football game. Flights are like $1,000 out of Omaha. It's absurd.
It's crazy right now.
And it's all the airlines too. It's not just one or
Yes.
the other. It's absolute nonsense. So
I'm not going to promote some sites I hit up, but
no free shout outs.
no free shout outs.
No free shout outs.
But I'm gonna tell you though, I'm a hunter. I'm a hunter. I'm a hunter
You're
gatherer.
getting the deal. You're getting the deal.
I'm not just jumping on a
Right.
$1,000.
And I would say you
Not doing it.
can drive, but that's even worse now.
Yeah, with the gas
Closer
prices,
to
the way
$5
they
now.
are.
But we don't have to get into all that because that's just gonna make everyone frustrated. So let's find another way to get people frustrated. We're gonna talk about Nebraska basketball because I don't know if I told you or I was telling Nick about it. So my folks were here this past weekend. They came to Lincoln for the first time. We went down to the Haymarket.
Yeah.
And we passed by Pinnacle Bank Arena, obviously, which is kind of the centerpiece of the Haymarket. And I pointed out, I was like, yeah, that's Pinnacle Bank Arena. That's where Nebraska basketball plays. It's a really nice arena. So I started doing some research. It was $179 million to build it. Fits roughly 16,000 people.
Comfortably.
And then I told him, I was like, yeah, now that Northwestern, I believe it was in 2016 or 2017, won a tournament game, Nebraska basketball is now the only school in the Power 5 that hasn't won a tournament game. And then I started looking at just Pinnacle Bank Arena when it was built. So the last time was the first year in Pinnacle Bank Arena when Nebraska made the NCAA tournament and then obviously lost in the first round because they still haven't won. Since then, they made the NIT a couple times, haven't made the tournament since Fred Hoiberg has taken over. So the last season with Tim Miles was 19-17. First year of Fred Hoiberg, they're 7-25. They've now, I guess, gotten better, for lack of better words, 10-22 last season.
Yeah.
So my question to you, as someone who played for the program, and you were probably there, the best the program has ever been, are we reaching the point? I don't even know the way to word it necessarily because I have it as expectations versus reality because I know that a lot of fans, especially this past season, now that you had Bryce McGowan's a 5-star, you had some guys coming back, you had some transfers. Alonzo Verge was a big transfer, a big addition. What should be the expectations for this team? Because you look at the trajectory that they're headed. You have the new facility. You're able to get the 5-star. You have the home run hire coach, and still nothing is being done. And now we're reaching the point, too, that a lot of fans, if you don't hit a certain win mark this season, whether it be 10, 12, 15 games, now Hoiberg's gone.
Yeah.
And then you're starting from scratch again. So I was trying to explain to my dad, I don't know what Nebraska is going to do. And I'm curious to hear what you have to say because you were there probably in the heyday of Nebraska basketball. Yeah. What is the direction to take with this?
Well, personally, first, I think there has to be an identity that needs to be, encapsulated. It needs to be put into place to where when you look at the program, you're beginning to see a formulation of some form of identity. Whatever that is, toughness, hardness, just a winning mentality, defensive, prowess, just whatever it is, you want to see some form of identity being formed, right? I think also you want to see them get out of, I'm not going to say jumping up into the top tier of the Big Ten.
That's pretty tough to do. It's going to take a while to do that.
But I would say getting out of that play-in game, I think that's manageable. If you're trying to do something, I mean, it can't be you only win 10 games and now you win 14. I think we're beyond that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think we're at that level. I think it's got to be. I think we got to set the goal high to get out of that first. When you have the Big Ten tiers, so you have the first tiers, they all get a bye. The second tiers, they'll play the second day of whoever comes out of the first day playing games of the Big Ten tournament. I think you've got to get out of that or be like you just missed it. I don't think you can now say I can still be 14th, 15th and trying to play a playing game of 5 days in the Big Ten.
Because even if you win 14, 15 games, that's probably still where you're going to be sitting. And Texter says, none, there's never any expectations for basketball, LOL. My only pushback against that, and which makes me so frustrated, is like, if you didn't invest into the program, that's one thing. Yeah. I understand, like, okay, we're not investing this. We're putting all of our assets, all of our resources into football. That's one thing. You have one of, if not the best arena in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like Pinnacle Bank Arena is state of the art. Like there was an NBA exhibition game there. You hold concerts of well-known artists. You have the home run hire. You have a coach that's been to the Sweet 16 with another school. Like you are allocating resources into this and you're still not seeing the results.
Yeah,
that's the frustration for me.
I don't think you could just rely on fall sports. I really don't. For that to be your take or mentality on that is just, oh, well, LOL, there's no expectation of anything.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't think you can. I think you're pretty much beyond that. But what I will say is having some conversations with Fred was very enlightening. Mm-hmm. I will say that he's out trying to stay on top of the transitions of the day, which is NIL and educating and making sure that people understand what it is and how impactful it is to the program and all of these different things, because that's the landscape you've got to compete in. The blue blood programs that's not going to be a problem for them. Most blue blood programs don't have basketball. Football. You got Duke. Duke's football program is
atrocious normally. Right.
Right. You other than Kentucky finally just emerging just recently, is that consistent? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think there's a good balance.
Kansas is terrible at football horrible, every year.
So you've got those programs that are not going to have to worry about that being an issue, and that's what's going to keep them strong. But if you really want to compete, you've got to get in the game, and there's got to be a way to get in the game. The game has changed for Fred because transfer portal was his. Was his moneymaker. That was his claim to fame. But now you add in NIL situations,
changes
and
everything.
There's a different element to the bag, and you've got to be able to figure out how to compete in that realm. So I commend him for putting it out there and going out and getting in the game and not just sitting on his hands and hoping that it just happens, out of happenstance. I don't think that's going to be the key. But yes, you know what, Nate, man, you've got every element for success in the area of the program. I just think that there's been a lack of identity. I think there's been a lack of cohesion, and the way that it was built, it was very it was like putting clay with iron. They don't stay together.
It's the island of misfit toys is usually the way that I
what I'm saying.
The way I state it, right?
Yeah, it just they don't connect. They don't join. They don't fit. And then sooner or later it's going to crumble. It's going to break. And they just haven't had foundations. It's been so much turnover from year to year, and just no guys to really set a foundation. They haven't had a core like, for example, when we came in. There just haven't been a core like that, where these guys came in from the beginning, saw it to the end of the program, and it's been tough. So I think there's been a lot of transition. I think Doc tried. He just wasn't able to land the big time guys. I always used to say, I used to tease, and it's listen, Doc's a great coach. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I love his basketball mind. But here's one thing I used to say to some of my friends. I would be like, man, Doc just needs somebody to go in with him. He needs a partner, meaning if Doc showed up in my living room and he looks like, the mad scientist from, and I'm joking, But he looks like from Back to the Future.
Right.
My
I know.
guy,
I
right?
knew that was where you were
know
going to
what
go
I'm
with
saying?
that. Right.
So I mean, he comes in. He's great basketball mind. A little heavy.
Right.
And he says, "I'm gonna get your son there," and you're looking at him like, "How?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, so I used to always say Doc just needs somebody like what Kentucky was doing, where they had Rod Strickland for a period, where they was able to land certain players. Calipari's great in his own mind, but
Right. You can't do it alone.
You've got this guy that's perennial in what he does. His nephew is Kyrie Irving, and now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You've got him alongside you, pulling him, and when you say I'm going to get you there, you've got something to look at and say, okay, yeah, I can see that. You know what I mean? And I've always think that that's what something is needed. Fred is that guy, but the problem is, I think Fred too, he can't do it all. He can't go train, teach, and try to educate the public on NIL, then go hit the recruiting
and then
trail,
go recruit,
and then
right.
go try. I think, and listen, I'm not coming against any part of their coaching staff or anything. I'm just saying there's elements that needs to be a part of that system. And I'm just throwing spitball, trying to figure out what they need, because I think they need just foundational pieces now.
Right. And Wilmot says it too. I expect Nebraska to be relevant in all sports. I completely agree with him. Again, it just comes back to, and I have the comparison here too. So in 2013, obviously Pinnacle Bank Arena opened. So they spent $179 million. So in comparison, in 2016, Illinois opened their State Farm Center, dumped $170 million into it, have made the tournament the past 2 seasons, were the number 1 overall seed 2 seasons ago. So and I understand that the prowess of Illinois is very different, but when you look at the resources that Nebraska has allocated into the basketball program, there's no listen, we're not saying you need to be like Illinois. I'm not saying you need to be the number 1 overall
Illinois,
team.
How come you can't? How come you can't?
You have the
Illinois?
resources. You have the resources.
Exactly.
Right.
What makes Illinois any different than what you can do here? Yes, you have a huge talent pool that you can draw from out of Chicago, but resources wise,
it's the same.
Come on, man.
Your arena is exactly the same. And then I guess this is maybe a little bit more better comparison. So DePaul opened their McCormick Place Event Center where they play their basketball games, $164 million. And in 2019, they made the CBI finals.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that's not the NCAA tournament, but I think we're at the point right now that if you're a fan of Nebraska basketball, and if you went to the CBI and you went to the finals, I wouldn't call that maybe a successful season, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I think that's what DePaul wanted, because DePaul, very similar to Nebraska, they were kind of that 7-8 win mark. They weren't really moving anywhere as a program. That's a step forward.
Yeah, I agree.
It's in the right direction.
If you go back and track, and there is a track record of this. You can go back and track and see that most teams that have went to the semifinals or finals or won in NIT or something have come back with some form of success that followed, because it just gave you something, like you say, a springboard. It just gave you a springboard. It gave you something to draw from or to come back with a little element of that. I think one year Virginia ended up going and winning the NIT, and then the next year they ended up going, I think, deep into it, maybe even winning it,
right?
If I remember correctly, the following year. And so you can see those elements of that happening, and I think it's important to take those challenges, to learn those lessons, that because it's a different type of intensity, it's a different type of atmosphere. It's going to harden your young players. They're going to get a taste of, man, what's the next leap? NCAA, win a game. You can actually, from those points, begin to set different types of goals if you're able to do something in those tournaments, I think.
And Bipolar says the Lincoln taxpayers paid for PBA, not the university. And look, I understand that, but the point still stands that you still have the infrastructure, you have facilities, you have the resources that, again, you're no different than a school like Illinois. And you're the number 1 overall seed in the tournament 2 years ago. And again, I'm not saying Nebraska needs to be at that point, but we've reached the point that fans don't even have a hope anymore. Like we're not even competing for a Big Ten tournament, even win. We're not competing for a tournament bid. Like it's just reached disastrous proportions. And then the only thing that I worry about now is like, if what a lot of fans want is Hoiberg gone, I don't necessarily agree with that. But if that's the stance that you're taking, where do you go from there? And I'm not making the argument like there's no one that you can get better, which there might be some truth to that. But no matter which direction you go, whether you get a better coach or not, like there's like you said, there's no identity.
Mm-hmm.
There's no direction of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And it just blows my mind that Nebraska
Style
still
of
to
play.
this point has
Yeah.
never won a tournament game with the resources that they're given. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. I thought they really had a good chance to do that. I thought they landed. What year was that? It was the year that they went with Tim Miles. It was his first or second year here. I want to say 14.
For 2013, 2014 was
14,
the
right.
last time they made the tournament, and that was the first year of PBA.
Right. So they drew a good draw that year. I thought they matched up very well with that Baylor team, and they just laid an egg. I mean, the style that I saw them playing, I actually went to the game. I was there down in San Antonio, and I just watched it, and it looked like they didn't play with the same passion and fervor that I had seen them play with and compete. And that happens sometimes. I mean, you get there sometimes, get excited, and these teams are pretty much close to home, and you kind of getting away into a different atmosphere, and sometimes it can throw you off a little bit. But I thought that was their best chance. I thought Tehran in that group with Vincent Hamilton and him. And,
your teams too.
yeah, I thought that team that we won the NIT, had we not had just the internal turmoils, and we started off 11-1.
Right.
And then we just started having internal strifes, conflicts that began. And then when you don't have that,
camaraderie.
Man, when it just starts you start freezing this guy out, and I don't like playing with that guy, and then all of a sudden there's no passion there. Guy gets beat, you don't want to help take a charge or get in there. You know what I'm saying? You don't do those things. And had that not happened, we could have beat anybody.
Because you were ranked for the majority of that
made that
too.
run. I'm telling you, the team that made that run, when we finally said, you know what, we're gonna do this for us, not for anybody else. We love Coach Nee, but not for Coach Nee. It's not for the staff. It's for us to go out the way we want to go out. Once we turn our mental to that, we could have beat any team at that point. I mean, that's how well we played when we made those runs.
And it's just fascinating because when you're Trev Alberts too, I mean, you got to think he's still so new to this job and this role. Like, he's put in a fairly tough position. Like this, this is not really a spot that you want to be in. I mean, your football team is obviously not performing up to standards. You invest in Pinnacle Bank Arena. We're about to enter into year 10, and you've made one NCAA tournament. It's fascinating. I'm not really sure what's going to go with that. It's an interesting conversation. So 402-464-5685. That's Starter Heyman text line. Let us know your thoughts too. And we're going to get Steve Sipple early break his thoughts too. Cade McIntyre has officially committed to Oklahoma. What does this mean for in-state recruiting? What does this mean for Nebraska football? Are we now more focused on the transfer portal? We'll get his thoughts and more. Stay with us on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
Join Nebraska Public Media and Trailblazers in women's athletics Saturday, June 18th for a live event celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX legislation. Join me, Aaron Sorensen, along with three-time Olympic medalist and Nebraska volleyball standout Jordan Larson, plus Carol Frost, Peaches James Keaton, and Brenda Van Langen. Title IX, 50 years in the making, is Saturday, June 18th at 6 p.m. in the Coliseum at UNL. Free tickets are available at nebraskapublicmedia.org/Title IX.
Can I go to the sleepover?
If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Andy, I know you have hundreds of new Hondas on the way, but let's talk about your pre-owned inventory.
You know, everyone in Lincoln and surrounding areas know we sell new and pre-owned Hondas, but a lot of people I talk to don't realize that we sell all makes and models.
All makes of imports and domestics, right?
Yes. In addition to Hondas, we sell Toyotas, Nissans, Volkswagens, Kias, domestic vehicles, and we have more than 125 to choose from right now, with fresh trade-ins arriving daily.
Andy, I hear about many people choosing certified pre-owned.
They are, Charlie. It's like buying a new car with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a special low-rate financing. Best of all, the customer can take immediate delivery.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to On the Block 93.7 The Ticket. No Jake Bakoven this week, no Jake Bakoven next week, and no Jake Bakoven for a couple days the week after that. He is in Omaha for the College World Series. He's setting up for it. Should be a blast. We're actually going to find out here in a few minutes between UConn and Stanford. I guess I should say a couple hours. So they're in the bottom of the third. Stanford trailing by 1 to UConn. Our stage is almost set for the College World Series. So that'll be a fun one in Omaha here starting on Friday. So that is where Bach is. But Strick is still here. I'm still filling in at the moment, and we're going to be joined by Steve Sipple of Early Break on 3 Sports. Sip, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
We're doing all right. We're hanging in there. Yeah, we're doing all right, and we're kind of still trying to process. I'm assuming you've already saw Sip, and you probably have your thoughts, and that's one of the big conversations that we want to have is Cade McIntyre, a few minutes ago, maybe about an hour ago now, has officially committed to Oklahoma. So the Fremont, Nebraska native, 3-star athlete, he has officially committed to Oklahoma. Sip, would you say this is an indication of where Nebraska recruiting is, where the program is, or is it just he sees more opportunities at Oklahoma?
Ooh, that's an interesting development. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard for me to say at this moment that Nebraska's struggling with its recruiting. I mean, it's done very well in state in this class. And if you look at Frost's track record in state, I mean, it's strong. I mean, I get it. There's Omaha kids at the top of the ratings. I guess it was last year's class that chose other schools. But by and large, all you got to do is do the research. As far as Frost's tenure here, it's been strong. I think there's a lot of factors, and I haven't seen what Cade said, so I don't know exactly what his deal is. But it's not. I don't overreact to these things as much as a lot of people do. It's going to happen. I mean, not every Oklahoma kid goes to Oklahoma, So it's interesting. It's interesting to me for sure. But it's hard for me to sit here and say right now that Nebraska's doing a bad job recruiting or doing a bad job recruiting in state.
Sip, quick question. It's kind of a two-parter. One will be football related, and then one would be basketball related. But the first part of the football related question is, when you look at the program in itself, right? They were very heavy in the transfer portal this year, and some of the things I've talked to Bach about, but I really would like your perspective on, is that with the heaviness in that department this year, I felt that they can't have another heavy year in the transfer portal. They got to be building foundational pieces to be able to build on, right? So that it doesn't topple over in any form or fashion, so that you can begin to build a ground up philosophy and also put together and getting your identity established. And those have to come from those younger players, and you have to be able to retain them and keep them happy. What is your thought about that part of it? And then I'll ask you the second one.
Okay. Yeah. Everybody's looking, Eric, for a healthy mix, right? Right now, Nebraska's heavy on the portal side, 15 players from the transfer portal, 3 from junior colleges. It's not going to be like that all the time. I don't think it can be, but I'll tell you what, I've heard it suggested by, let's just say people that are probably smarter than me. And when it comes to roster management, that what if the number's 10 from the portal every year? What if it's 8 to 10? Can you still build a foundation? I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
You got to be careful. Yeah. There's got to be a healthy mix.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be 18 transfers.
Right.
But right now there was, I think, obviously Scott and that staff saw a need. Scott verbalized in November his plan. His plan was to go heavy into the portal and the junior colleges to help the program get over the top.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, he's executed his plan. No, you're right. I mean, I don't think it's healthy every year to go get 18 transfers. I mean, that doesn't, I don't know. I mean, maybe they could prove me wrong, but I will say, but the last thing I'd say, Strick, is it doesn't offend my senses too much if you're a heavy portal team. I mean, if that's your MO, especially at a place like Nebraska, where I don't know, there's different thoughts on this, but I'm in the camp that says it's hard to recruit to Nebraska. I've just always felt that way. There's challenges. Mm-hmm. And if that's your sort of, if that's what you hang your hat on, I'm not offended by it. It doesn't bother me as long as there's a healthy mix.
Yeah. So on the basketball side, what are you, based on what Fred has been able to amass as far as talent, what he allowed to go, and then what he's recruited and brought in, what would you expect their identity to be for this upcoming team? Because that's the one thing that Nate and I are talking about here on the block is they need to have some form of identity. We need to be able to see something and what that outcome would be able to show and prove. Because when we watched them last year, Sip, you had a hard time finding out anything that they just did well, right? And so how would you like to see that based on this team that they put together?
It's too early to say, but I will say, except there's pieces you can. I'm not dodging your question because there are, and now listen, there are elements that are crystallizing. Sam Griesel and Fred's comments about Sam, the transfer guard. Fred is saying now, and in media interviews, that he's going to have the ball in his hand a lot. There's your point guard. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is an element that's crystallizing. That.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You also know that Fred is sort of changing his MO in mid-flight. That the first 3 years he's 9-50 in the Big Ten. All right. Clearly he's decided what I'm doing isn't working. And I gotta maybe, first of all, have the whole staff recruit. Second of all, maybe change I'm looking for the right word, kind of the profile of the player we recruit. Maybe it's not all about star power, and it's more about how are these players going to fit together. And by the way, another element that's crystallized that you can talk about is it looks like he's going to lean harder on the defensive end a little bit. That he wants. That I guess the kind way to put it, guys, is I'll put it in a kind manner since it's June. That he wants a more well-rounded team. Okay, a team that actually is more mindful of defense. It's been a poor defensive team, but look what he's recruited. I mean, Blaze Keita is a good defender, junior college transfer. He recruited that kid from SMU who loves to play defense. The kid from Alabama who loves to play defense. Those are dogs on the defensive end. And so
he's been listening to Stricky.
Recruited those guys.
Stricky said we need that. We need dogs. We need some Rottweilers in the trenches. So he went and got that.
Does Nathan know what a Rottweiler you were? Does he have any idea?
I don't think Nate knows the full scope, but I think he kind of gets little tidbits of it every now and then.
Turn on some tape, turn on some YouTube, and watch Eric Strickland. When you think of, and I don't mind saying this, I don't mind saying it in front of Eric. I don't mind saying it because it's real. He was the ultimate dog in Nebraska basketball. From what I've seen since I started covering it in 91. Ultimate dog. I mean, there's been other dogs for sure. I mean, Vincent Hamilton was a dog on the defensive end. There's been other guys, but I don't know. Has there been anybody else that was assigned to Kobe Bryant? And I mean, start listing them, Eric. I mean, it's the guys that you were assigned to.
Yeah, shoot, everybody's best opportunity or all-star. He's pretty much list that down there.
Yeah. Anyway, know a dog when you see one.
I'm gonna have to look up some film now. You gotta be ready to run through a brick wall. Steve Sipple with On3.com. Early break. I kind of want to go back to the football side, and obviously, Cade McIntyre is a big topic of discussion for fans right now. Nebraska kid, he's not going to go to Nebraska. Another big one that I'm looking at now is Malachi Coleman. That's kind of the big name that's been buzzing. 4-star receiver. He's literally in Nebraska's backyard. He's from Lincoln. If you lose him to another school, is that when maybe you would get a little bit concerned about the in-state recruiting?
Oh, I mean, there's a distinction to be made, Nathan. I would say this. It would be a gigantic loss and a major disappointment.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I take that next step and worry about in-state recruiting. Again, and I need to do it before my show tomorrow, but I got to look at Frost's track record and put it down in numbers. You can do it. It's strong. His in-state recruiting is strong. It's not okay. It's strong. Now, there is going to be a point though where, you lose the top 3 kids in the class from, all Omaha kids. It was either last year or the year before. You lose that.
Right.
Then if you lose the number 1 kid in the state that attends Lincoln East, it's like I said, it's a major loss. But I don't know if I'd just go to that next step that says they're not recruiting well in state. They just signed 3 high-profile offensive linemen from the state of Nebraska. They're hitting at a high level in the state. So, but I'll tell you what, my eyes are on Malachi Coleman. That's sort of a player that you definitely need to lock in. And, Mickey Joseph.
I don't think he's going to that's what I was going to say, Seth. I don't think Mickey Joseph is going to lose that one. He's been that good in solidifying that type of talent. I just don't see. I knew Mickey when he was here on campus, and I just don't see that one. But
Mickey,
it could happen.
When it comes to dogs,
Yeah.
Mickey is a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, he on the recruiting trail, he's a dog. He wants to put a fence around Nebraska. He talks about it all the time. I guarantee you guys, this isn't a good day for Mickey. I mean, Mickey's not going to be happy. It's not a good day for Barrett, Rude. But I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I think those guys, Barrett has perspective. You're going to lose some, and I'm going to have to look at this one a little closer. I've been writing about the offensive line for the last 3 hours.
I still think, and I just said it in the last segment, I still think, man, that it's too early. I think as a young player like him, he's got the goggles on, and there's a game that's going to happen, and I'm sure he's going to be at, right? And there's easy an opportunity for decommittal. If Nebraska comes out and has a tremendous season, one of them being a win against Oklahoma at home in an impressive fashion, there could easily be a decommittal.
Well, that's the thing too, Nathan. You don't in strict too. You don't want to overreact to anything.
Yeah, right.
Because of that. I mean, what if on mid-June, we're saying that the collapse of the program is imminent because Cade McIntyre chose Oklahoma, and then it ends up that Cade McIntyre doesn't even choose Oklahoma. Then we just all look like morons. So I don't want to. I just don't get into that. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I think what I would say is look at the track record of this staff in the state, and it's not as bad as it seems sometimes.
I think a big part of it too with Malachi Coleman, and maybe you can answer this question, Sip, is I can't remember the last time someone had so much attention in the state of Nebraska to go to the state of Nebraska. I mean, for crying out loud, every media outlet in town was at a press conference of him talking about his visit at Nebraska. He wasn't even committing, and all eyes are on him. Obviously, already has NIL deals out of high school. I mean, there's just so much attention on this kid, and I think the fan base has gravitated towards him so much, it would just be a huge blow not to get him at this point.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I'm not going to diminish that. I mean, those are the kind of players that I've seen too often. Malachi Coleman's getting off the Texas bus, getting off the Oklahoma bus, getting off the Ohio State bus. Now you have a chance to lock one down. And I will say this: Nebraska's skill position players and their profile has improved in the last few years. But again, I would say Malachi Coleman is the kind of kid. I mean, he's a player, and he looks like the real deal getting off the bus. There's no doubt. I mean, we're all going to be watching that one, and we're all going to be watching it until mid-December because I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think Malachi Coleman is going to make a decision until then. And sure, that'll be a very big day when he does.
Good.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sip, if people want to get more great content from you, how can they do so?
I cover Nebraska sports for On3.com. It's easy. And by the way, for the Nebraska coverage on On3.com, it's just $1 for the year right now. And I think we're up to 6,500 subscribers already.
Are you going to feed your family with that, Sip? That's ridiculous.
What's that?
It's $1? How are you feeding your family? It's a steal.
Well, on three,
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Yeah, for
those
real.
dollars don't all go in my pocket. Trust me. But yeah, there's a good plan, and it's working out well so far. I gotta go read about this McIntyre development though.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Sip.
All right, God bless you both.
Yep.
See you later.
Have a good one. That was Steve Sipple on 3.com. Great coverage for him there. Also, you can catch him on early break 6 to 8. So also helps us out here at the Ticket. But make sure you stay with us because we are going to play some shootout with Strick. It doesn't matter if Bach's here or not. I can go ahead and ask the questions, and we need you to call. 402-464-5685 is the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Strick's already warming up, so he's already feeling pretty good.
New week, baby.
It is a new week, so maybe we can get some boom shakalakas going for you or with the listeners. And our topic today is going to be the NBA Finals. So if you are trying to beat an NBA vet at his own game, make sure you call now, 402-464-5685. That's the Honda of Lincoln hotline. We will have Shootout with Strick next on the block, 937 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, how are you?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Andy, I know you have hundreds of new Hondas on the way, but let's talk about your pre-owned inventory.
You know, everyone in Lincoln and surrounding areas know we sell new and pre-owned Hondas, but a lot of people I talk to don't realize that we sell all makes and models.
All makes of imports and domestics, right?
Yes. In addition to Hondas, we sell Toyotas, Nissans, Volkswagens, Kias, domestic vehicles, and we have more than 125 to choose from right now with fresh trade-ins arriving daily.
Andy, I hear about many people choosing certified pre-owned.
They are, Charlie. It's like buying a new car with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty and a special low-rate financing. Best of all, the customer can take immediate delivery.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Hey, Steve.
Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Dangerously hot this afternoon. A heat advisory will be in effect from 1 until 8. We'll top out near 105. Could be setting records across the region. South winds will gust near 30. Tonight, a low down to 81. And tomorrow, still very warm. with a high of around 96 and a chance of nighttime thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
That's right. It is time to play the game Shootout with Strick. We play it every day around 4:45, a little bit late today, so we don't have Bach to keep us on track, so we're kind of all over the place today.
We rolling though, baby.
That's all right. We're still getting it done, and we actually still need a caller. So
Get on your Harley. Get on your Harley and ride out.
I think we do have a caller. So that is the one thing, though, that without Bach, we do not have someone to answer the phone. So we're going to see how this goes. We're just going to send him right through, Strick. So I guess I have to have the dump button ready. But we will head to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Who are we talking to right now?
It's Eliar, baby.
How we doing? Do you know your NBA Finals? Are you good with NBA Finals trivia?
Heck yeah, man.
All right. Well,
he's ready.
I guess he's ready. Strick, are you a little bit intimidated?
I'm a little intimidated right now, but I'm a dog. I'm gonna squat and defend and fight.
All right. Well, what did you say your name was again?
Eliar.
Elion?
Eliar.
Okay. Well, we're going to get Strick's answers first, so make sure you stay with us, stay on the phone, and then we will get you next because Strick usually has to get his points first so that we know how many you're going to be looking at. Let me see. I'm going to make sure I got all the boards set up, too, so still getting used to it. Strick, are you ready?
Strick is ready.
All right. We will start in 3, 2, and 1. Who is leading the Celtics in points per game, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum?
Jaylen Brown.
It is Jason Tatum. Who is leading the Warriors in assists per game, Klay Thompson or Steph Curry?
Klay Thompson.
It is Steph Curry. Who is leading the Celtics in rebounds per game, Robert Williams or Al Horford?
Williams.
That is correct. Who won the first game of the series, Celtics or Warriors?
Warriors.
It was actually the Celtics. And who did the Warriors beat in the Western Conference Finals?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Memphis.
2, 1.
Strick. It was your former team, your alma mater, the Mavericks.
Oh, my God.
Luka, Jalen Brunson.
Where is my brain at right now?
It's a Monday. It's a Monday. So
I need to play that. It's a manic Monday.
We're gonna have to play something like that. Strick ends.
I'm really for the people today.
You are for the people. Hey, listen, it's a Monday. We'll give you a break. So Eliar, how are you feeling after Strick just getting 1 point?
I feel like he's trash. Like, he's garbage. Like,
oh my goodness!
I love it.
Strick, do you know who
the
this
last
is?
two guys? No.
The last so
two
this is just people just throwing shots at you.
Hey, listen, that's good because now I'm gonna get motivated.
I wouldn't want to play you for the rest of the week. I know that much. No, I respect that, but Strick is for the people. So Eliar, we will see if you can get 1 point. That is the number you have to get to tie. 2 will get you the win. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, we will start in 3, 2, and 1. Who is leading the Warriors in points per game, Jordan Poole or Steph Curry?
Steph Curry.
That is correct. Who is leading the Celtics in assists per game, Marcus Smart or Jason Tatum?
Marcus Smart.
That is correct. Who is leading the Warriors in rebounds per game, Kevon Looney or Draymond Green?
Draymond Green.
It is actually Kevin Looney. Who won the most recent game 4 of the series, Celtics or Warriors?
Warriors.
That is correct. And who did the Celtics beat in the Eastern Conference Finals?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Bucks.
5, 4.
I'll go ahead and let the shot clock run out before I answer. That is the buzzer. It is actually the Heat. So both of you guys tripped up on the conference finals. They beat the Heat. But luckily for
both said
you,
the teams before the.
I know both
one.
of you did, but that's all right. Eliar, you still did get 3 points, so you are our winner today. Give me a second. Make sure I get you your.
Boom shakalaka!
No.
I said, give me a hell yeah!
2-0, baby. Garbage. How you lose to me twice? I'm 15. You lost to me twice.
15. He's trolling right now, Strick.
Where the guy you catch me on the court?
Never.
Catch you on the court? Oh.
Never that.
That might be a little bit of
I
an
hope he calls
over-exaggeration.
back again. I'm going to remember him. Let me write this down. I'm definitely going at his.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you want to play Strick on the
Oh,
court.
old man.
Oh man, Strick's getting
Troll City.
Strick's getting all kind of
I
smoke
love
today. All right, LER. Well, make sure you stay on the line. I'm gonna have to jump over to the other studio, so stay on the line for me, and then we will make sure that you get your prize. So, Strick,
The new generation.
Listen,
bro.
you start out on the wrong foot, and then on top of that, you get clowned by
I know it.
15-year-old on your own show. That's what I'm saying.
I
Hey,
don't want to
listen.
be like Cat Williams and end up going in on 15.
No, listen. See, that's the thing
Did you
too.
hear that
is-
story?
Oh no, what was it?
Freaking Cat Williams, the comedian. He was playing soccer with a group of kids,
Right.
and a kid was like 15 or 16. Ends up getting in a fight with the kid.
Well, I don't recommend that.
No.
That was interesting. So I guess now he's 2-0 against you. He claims. Maybe he'll call in tomorrow and you can get your revenge, Strick. But as Texter says, you should blame it on the jet lag. That's the thing too. Is that's the problem with Nebraska basketball. All he knows Nebraska basketball now. You got to respect your days back when you were back. That's the thing. I don't know if you want the smoke from an NBA vet. That's all I'll say.
Well, look.
But hey, maybe he can hoop. I don't know.
These days, I do not do it, and here's why: I tore my Achilles.
Oh.
In like 11, and I was just playing basketball, nothing crazy,
Just like
coming
pick
off a
up?
pick and roll.
Yeah.
It was in a league, like an over
Right.
40 league, and come off a pick and roll and pop. And then I asked the doctor, I was like, Doc, so if I want to keep playing, and Bruce is torn both, Bruce Chubbuck. I said, if I want to keep playing, is there any way that I can strengthen or guard the other one? He's like, nope, it's like a tire. And I said,
So just
that's
done.
enough for Stricky.
So you don't play pickup at all anymore.
No,
Or anything?
I just shoot. So I'll shoot it.
Really?
I'll shoot his eyes out now.
So you can't even play him in one-on-one.
I wouldn't because my mind. Listen, there's a song out that used to say, "My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yes."
Yeah.
So my body wants to say go. My mind is like, you need to chill out,
Right.
you old fella.
That must be tough as someone who's played at the highest level that
That's
you
what
did.
I'm saying.
I can't even
play-
imagine, right? No,
I can't
it's-
play at. I only can play at one level, and that's hard. And so if I
Right.
get out there, I would be trying to go hard, and I just can't. And so that's why I popped.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
I actually did not know that. I assumed you were just going to the YMCA and balling.
Oh man,
That's the thing. I don't know if you remember Troy Copain when he played
just
for
hit a
Cincinnati.
bomb.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
a bomb.
Oh, Stanford's going to take the lead. with
Grand
that
slammy.
I don't know if you remember Troy Copain. He played for Cincinnati. He was pretty good. He was a point guard. And I played with him at the YMCA, and it was one of those, all right, I'm going to play one game and
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you probably had the same
Yeah.
reaction when you go to the YMCA.
Yeah, man.
I'm good. I don't want to play
most
anymore.
guys are hackers, and they'll just hack the. shack you all
It's the
day.
only way to stop you, right?
So,
I mean, come on.
No, I don't want it.
And that's that 40+ league. I'd be pretty scared about that too. But congratulations to LER. He will win today. And I didn't even have to ask him if you wanted to talk trash. He just automatically went into it. So shout out to him. So I'll make sure that he goes and gets his prize. But we have a whole nother hour of On the Block. Bach is already in Omaha. And it looks like he might be seeing Stanford, who just took the lead over UConn 8-3 there in the bottom of the fourth inning. So if you want to check out that one. College baseball is alive and well. We'll get into college baseball here in the next hour too. Lots happening with Tennessee. They go down. I have my Virginia Tech battle versus the NCAA. We're going to hit on that too. So make sure you stick with us on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Join us this Thursday, June 16th for delicious food and sports talk at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Doors open at 4 p.m. and we'll be there until 8. That's this Thursday at Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 28th and Pine Lake. I'm E. Strick, and I'll see you there.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. It's a different group of players than the ones that carried Lincoln East deep into the Nebraska State Baseball Tournament. With an overhauled roster, Lincoln East Legion baseball team, Carpet Land, has continued its winning ways. With a 10-2 victory over Lincoln Northeast Legion team, Judd's Brothers, Carpetland has secured the 2022 Mike Peterson Coach K Legion Baseball Tournament crown. After breaking his arm and missing much of the 2020 season due to the pandemic, Pius X graduate and 2018 MLB draft pick Michael Hellman will make his AAA debut with the Minnesota Twins AAA affiliate, the St. Paul Saints. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join Nebraska Public Media and Trailblazers in women's athletics Saturday, June 18th for a live event celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX legislation. Join me, Aaron Sorensen, along with three-time Olympic medalist and Nebraska volleyball standout Jordan Larson, plus Carol Frost, Peaches James Keaton, and Brenda Van Langen. Title IX, 50 years in the making, is Saturday, June 18th at 6 p.m. in the Coliseum at UNL. Free tickets are available at nebraskapublicmedia.org/Title IX.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a Ready Next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and lover of bread, Jake Bachowin.
What? I like bread.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
We're back on the block here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. He's Strick and my partner today for the next week and a half, Nate Dogg, my partner. Looking forward to having a good time with you, Nate, for these next week and a half. Thank you for joining and
we're off to a good
linking
start.
up with me.
Yeah.
I got trolled a little bit on the last segment.
You really did. He was coming at you.
He came hard at my neck, LER. But it's all good, man. It's we're in the second half of On the Block right now, and there's a few things that are happening out in the SEC. It's already a lot of competition, and you got things happening with Saban and some SEC coaches that have some great NIL opportunities and bids. And but this one kind of jumped out at me, and the reason being is Tennessee, the number one team in baseball, found itself in a super regional, and they ended up coming up short in their super regional against Notre Dame. Was it divine intervention? Or, a lot of speculation out there, a lot of word out there, a lot of rumor mill out there that basically Tennessee was the trolls of NCAA baseball this year. I mean, they were that dominant. They only losing 9 games until this last game they took an L. In season, losing 9 in-season games, and it probably could be one of the best all around seasons of all time. It's got to be in the top 5 to 10. But nonetheless, man, to be so dominant throughout your year, they found themselves in their region there at Tennessee as well, having a walk-off home run. And so a lot of fans, a lot of people, to include Lane Kiffin, who is actually trolling them. He's not trolling them, though, by his own just volition. What happens is there was some discussion on Twitter, a couple of Twitter people. I'm just paraphrasing now. A couple Twitter people just basically saying that Lane's missing missing Tennessee, and you want to volunteer, just different things, kind of just little snide little remark they're throwing out there on Twitter. And basically Lane says, oh, well, Ole Miss is getting ready to head up to Omaha, but what are the Vols doing right now? So he kind of went back at him a little bit. But the thing out there is karma or humility the way of the day? You can understand, being confident. You can understand celebratory, means and methods and things like that. But is sometimes being over cocky and, overconfident or just acting like a total A, you know what I mean? Does it go too far? I mean, when they won, they had a walk-off in their regional, and they're running around the bases, and one of the guy that hit it's not in front of me, I forgot to write it, but he hits the homer and he's pictured flipping him off. Like, we just bust your, you know what I mean? Like, F you. Like, dang, that's how we going right now, my boy?
Well, the thing that frustrates me is I think this is part of the bigger discussion for the NCAA, because I've ranted about it extensively, and I might a little bit more here too, that Virginia Tech has their home run hammer that was obviously taken away from them in the Super Regional, which is directed towards their fan base, directed towards their team. There's no malicious intent. There's no unsportsmanlike conduct towards the other team, nothing. And the NCAA is harsh on them, takes it away completely, says you can't use it anymore, you'll be disqualified, you'll have to forfeit all this, yada, yada, yada. But then Tennessee can do something like this, flick off fans, be legitimately unsportsmanlike, and you don't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And this is just a bigger discussion about the NCAA and their governing body that they are, which they're supposed to be for the student athlete. We probably can agree that doesn't always appear to be the case. And look, if you're Tennessee and you want to play that way, you got to back it up.
Right.
And that's the way. And I also, let's not act like Ole Miss is this brand of perfect sportsmanship. I mean, for crying out loud, Marshall Henderson was on their basketball team. What was it, 10, 15 years ago? And he was probably one of the biggest tools to ever play the game of NCAA basketball. But I just don't understand why we're picking and choosing. And Jory says it here, the absolute randomness of when the NCAA chooses to intervene is unmatched and insane. And it is. And it just it just blows my mind. And I genuinely don't understand. And the thing that frustrates me too is, like, if you want to preach sportsmanship, whatever have you, they're just kids, sure, fine, I get that. But at least make it consistent.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? And who is the guy making the decision that you can do this, you can't do this? So listen, I think Tennessee got what was coming for them. I love to see Notre Dame win. It's a huge underdog story, probably the underdog story of the tournament, because Tennessee, unranked, Tennessee was the team to beat.
Yes.
And I think everyone, if you were making your bracket, which they don't for NCAA baseball, a lot of people would probably have Tennessee.
Yeah.
I would say the majority would probably take Tennessee. So they got what they got. This just goes back to my further discussion about the NCAA, man. And it's just like, I don't know what the solution is at this point. Like, if you're one of these schools in the SEC, for example, you don't need the NCAA.
Right.
And you have all of these rules, and then you're not stepping in with the NIL free agency situation. You step in for things that don't matter, and then you let nonsense like this happen. It's like, when do we draw a line and say the NCAA is useless?
You know what? And that's one thing I wanted to kind of touch on, is because it looks, let me just say, the perception of it and the way that it looks is this. It looks as if they pick a certain element of somebody's celebratory means or method, and if they're not a top tier or mid tier or lower, they hit them and leave the other guys alone.
You're right.
It's like it's and don't even touch them. It's like it's a way to like
you're exactly
I'm doing
right.
something. You know, it's like I'm justified in what you guys are supposed to be paying me or taking care of me because we're doing something. See, we just did this thing over here. It's meaningless when you're looking at all the other teams or all the other. There's other people that put on fur coats. There's other people that do, you know, celebratory
put on
things with their
hats and chains coming out onto the field to give it to them. And why are we penalizing these teams?
Right.
And it goes back to, I think that's a good point. Last year, the College World Series perfect example was NC State. They had COVID issues. No matter how, I'm not making this a COVID issue or whatever it was, no matter what your opinion is. NC State said, those guys are fine. Don't let them play. We have enough players to field a team. Just give us a chance. Let us play. They say no. If it was Vanderbilt, Arkansas, one of your top tier baseball teams, I guarantee the NCAA would have let them play.
No question.
But NC State, who isn't your regular in the College World Series, isn't normally your brand for baseball, they get knocked the hardest for this.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech, never been to a super regional. They host for the first time. You let them have the home run hammer the entire season, the regional tournament. The super regional, you take it away?
Yeah. I think it's crazy. And I love the coach. I love the coach. Now, that's another element of this. Sutter Heyman text line is open at 402-464-5685 because here's an element of the question I want to throw out. The Virginia Tech coach basically says, look, we're going to do it. Even if it's going to be an air hammer, we're going to do it. We're not listening to your rule and your ruling. Now, I get it. I love it taking a stance for his kids, but here's another element of that I want to throw out there. Is that something that the kids look at and now they can be, look at it as a form of not adhering to rulings or rules, or does that hurt them going forward? Like if you're having a boss or you're having, you know what I mean? Because
I need to think about that.
That's the part of it that sometimes I get the stance that he's taking, but I think there's a way of doing it without the wording of like, we're going to do it anyway. And you know what I mean? So is that something? Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Is Strick overthinking? Am I looking? But I think there's an element that needs to be also looked into with that. Is that taking it a little too far? Because in life, there's going to be elements, there's going to be, things, there's going to be bosses, there's going to be other people that are going to implement specific rules that
are unfair.
They may not be good or fair, but are you going to go in rebellious mode and just be like, yo, bump you, I'm wearing my G-string to to work and, forget it.
Let me play this for you then, because this is what a freshman said after the game, that they ended up winning game 2, and this is what he said afterwards about the hammer.
To add to that really quickly, that's total crap from the NCAA.
I believe it.
That's all I got. I just thought it was, you see Tennessee hit their home run and put their fur coat on. You see Texas hit their home run and put their helmet on. But what's the NCAA got to do to come over here and tell us that we can't slam our own hammer at our own park? There's a lot of things. It's funny. There's some guys on the team that kind of talk like it's almost like being in a prison in your own ballpark. The NCAA likes to control things. They like to they like to make it the way that they want to make it. The fans come out for the hammer. They want to see us slam the hammer. I think it's total crap that we can't slam the hammer, but we're not going to let that affect us. We're going to slam an air hammer. So it is what it is.
What's your reaction to that? True freshman.
I love and I understand. I'm with him. I'm just throwing it out there that, now that, so that's your next generation. You know what I mean? That's your next leadership that's coming up. So now what if coach says, something now along the lines where it feels like prison, like there's a big game, this game, I don't want to see you in bar 9, or, I don't want to hear about you guys being, I need you to be locked down for this game. well, shoot. Well, it feels like I'm in prison in my own. Do you still take that same stance now and just be like, bump it, because it can be detrimental to the team. So I think it's hogwash in my Harry Potter type of way.
Right.
I think it's hogwash. I think it's garbage that came out. This element of that came out. And I know the ruling bodies on how they like to do that to non, in their eyes, relevant teams.
Which they haven't been. I mean,
You know what I mean?
again, Virginia Tech's never been Omaha. Jory says that young man will go a long way in life with that wise and effective answer. I think he articulated it very well.
I did too.
Which I liked. But this is the thing that I'm trying to like rope it back into Nebraska terms. And Nick made up a good point. Like, say Nebraska football, after a big sack, you throw up the bones, the black shirts. Like, how is that any different?
Yeah.
Why are we drawing a line there? And then you have now this third quarter light show that you do going into the fourth quarter where it gets the fan base engaged, gets the players hyped. Like, where are we drawing the line?
Right.
And I just don't understand. And then I think Tennessee is a perfect example too, that they did it this past weekend. It's like, you're flicking off the opposing team.
Yeah.
And nothing gets done
to you. Yeah. Now, ultimately, you got the L, the ultimate L, where you're going home.
Right.
But they weren't going to deny them. They weren't going to suspend him. They weren't, you know what I mean? So they got off the hook on that one. But, I look at it from the standpoint of I'm very disappointed because I see it in the NBA all the time, right? I see the way they let Draymond Green get away with murder.
That's a perfect example. Yeah.
You understand? And if that's, Gary Payton II or, somebody, if that's Pritchard or anybody like that, or White that's talking like that, they're popping him, they're twoing him and gone. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I just don't like about it. And I don't like the things that they've taken up, like if I bang on you in my day, I would look at you like you were, a peon. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like I would flex on you, you know what I mean? Like you can't do the, like it's over. You can't do none of those, like the throat cut stuff. There's things you can't do now. Even in football, I understood why Emmitt Smith, when he scored a touchdown, he took his helmet off. Most people, if you didn't actually know who they were, you wouldn't know who they were. Just a regular player, right? So a lot of them started taking their helmets off, and it was their self-promotion. And the the NFL scratched that. So it's like a power way to keep. I understand it. It's a power way to kind of keep you in a box, but they don't do it across the board. And when they do it, it affects. That's why they're starting to let celebrate. They started flagging celebrations, and now they're letting it happen again because they realize the fans are there to see the entertainment, and so they're letting these crazy, celebrations now that happen.
Now, as someone that played more during the traditional sense, I guess, quote unquote traditional sense, where you didn't have that as much in baseball, do you like it? Like, because that's the thing is, I don't know if maybe it's like a generational thing, but I don't see the problem.
I don't have a problem.
Like, if you're not being disrespectful towards the other team, if you're using it as motivation for your team, your fan base, I don't get it.
That to me, that would be like this. I hit a bomb and I mug it and I flip my bat.
You pimp it.
You know what I mean? No, you can't flip your bat.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? Because in effect, that's kind of showing up, the
It is.
pitcher. And then if the pitcher wants to come back at you and throw high and tight, you know what I mean? That's part of the game too, right? But they do that in order to try to eliminate you showing them up. But that would be like showing up and hitting the bomb and eyeing it and doing like this, putting your hand to the, like.
Which I always love it. I think that's awesome.
I think it's dope part of the game. Why? But that would be what just happened to them about their sledgehammer. There's nothing. He didn't look. I think one time they kind of got into it. One of the guys looked in the dugout. He was running the first, and he kind of winked at him after he just hit a bomb on him. There's all this talk going on.
Right.
Nothing's happening. They're not doing nothing to the pitcher, to the batter. Not snide.
No one complained about it.
It was at home.
What I don't understand too is maybe you would know I don't understand the timeline either, because they'd done it all last season, all this season, did it in the regional round, and then now in supers when you're down to the final 16 teams, you take it away. Like what? That timeline isn't adding up. And then Space Cadet says double standards are everywhere in sports, always have been, always will be. Unfortunately, that won't change. And like I understand that. The problem that I have with the NCAA, and it's funny because I don't know if Strick, you remember Brian Bosworth, he wore the National Communists Against Athletes shirt when he got suspended or whatever have you. The NCAA, the way I've always viewed it, is that they're supposed to have the best interest in mind for the players. And that is certainly not the case.
Yeah.
And it's glaringly obvious now. And it's frustrating. And I think it hurts the kids because I'd said this to Nick too. Like, you got to think 99% of the guys playing college baseball right now are not going to play professionally.
Right.
This is it. Like, enjoy the moment while it lasts. If you want to swing a sledgehammer, you want to put on a chain, do what you want to have fun, engage the fan base. Because after this, it's done. Not everyone gets that luxury of still play.
And baseball is already looking for an element in the game to be more engaged.
Bingo.
Because it's slower. It's not as, integrated. Colleges hit more homers than probably in the professionals because of the wood bat and the jumping off the metal. So, yes, because it's going to be a different level of professionalism if they have the opportunity to go up and they don't let you do certain things in the minor leagues that they let you do in the big. So you enjoy that part of it. So I'm with you on that.
It's just sad.
It is sad.
It is sad. And I hate it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I hate it.
But what do you guys think? Hit us on the Sutter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685. And, we're going to jump in a little bit of NBA flavor coming out of the break. We're going to take a little break right now and talk a little bit of hitting the hardwood with Strick. But, hey, we may take a call because we want to hear from you. I really would love your perspective and what you think about that particular topic. When we get back on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. I'm Strick and Nate. We will be right back.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Pillar Restaurant Group is proud to announce the full opening of our brick-and-mortar venue-at-home store, Lincoln's new premier specialty grocers. This store is home to our brand-new Butchery by Venue. Get the finest Nebraska steaks, hand-cut in-house by our butcher, prepared for our restaurants, and available for you to take home. With hand-selected specialty seafood, charcuterie, wine, bourbon, and liquor options. Come in today to see what we have to offer at 70th and Pioneers in the Pioneer Woods Shopping Center. Open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order your Wingstop online at 28th and Superior, 50th and O Street, and 29th and Pine Lake.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people, It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at freedominlaw.com today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Dangerously hot this afternoon. A heat advisory will be in effect from 1 until 8. We'll top out near 105. Could be setting records across the region. South winds will gust near 30. Tonight, a low down to 81. And tomorrow, still very warm with a high of around 96 and a chance of nighttime thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The block is hot. The block is hot. Ha, ha. Yeah, you're on the block. E. Strick and Nate. We are here getting it in 4 to 6 every day, Monday through Friday, right here on 93.7 theticketfm.com and all streaming platforms to include YouTube, Twitch, and Spotify. You can find us there. Coming out of the break, we talked a little bit about the NCAA baseball, some of the the craziness that's going on out there. Virginia Tech getting hokied a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they got hokied a little bit, and some little trolling going on. Tennessee, I mean, oh, how the mighty have fallen and fallen quickly. They did a Lord-a-dee-doo, 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 Lord. Yeah, they priced it right. They got to the top of the mountain and fell off Tennessee off the cliff. And they did not win the prize. But is there anybody calling in? Do we have somebody?
I don't know. Maybe the yodel will wake some people up. I always love when you guys play that.
I definitely want to hear if somebody is on the line. If not, that's okay. What is the Sutter Haven text line talking about on there?
We don't know yet. Well, Mark says NCAA isn't in charge until the postseason. It wouldn't be their call until regionals. Listen, if you made that the rule in regionals, I'm with you. Fine, whatever. You waited until the super regional to do it.
Right.
So you literally just arbitrarily decided you were going to do this.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
At home.
At home.
Oh, there's no worse.
When you've never been to a super regional.
There's no worse feeling than to have that happen to you. It just like throws off your whole
That's their identity.
Mentally.
That's their identity.
Yeah.
We talk about how Nebraska basketball needs an identity. They had an identity and the NCAA took it from them.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll move on and get to hitting the hardwood. We've got finals game 5 that will be jumping off tonight. And right now the games are tied. It is 2-2. We're still in Boston because we go in the finals, you go to 2-3-2. And that's why it's so disappointing. Because the jungle gets wild there at TD Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And you had 3 straight. You had the home court advantage to close the deal, my boy. You had a 7-point lead with I think about 4:50 to go, and you fell off the yodel. You know what I'm talking about. We don't want to hear it again, but you know what I'm saying. But there's an element to that is throwing me off. And again, this game is going to be tonight at 9 Eastern. They're in Boston, and it will.
Yeah, it's in Golden State.
Oh, it's in Golden State. This
Golden
one.
State.
Oh, so they changed the method.
Yep.
So it's no longer.
It's 2-2-1-1-1.
Oh, that's right. They changed it forever. I hate that. I really like the 2-3-2.
Is that how it was when you were playing?
It used to be 2-3-2.
And you used to play just 5 games.
First round.
Yeah.
But then we got into 7 late in my career. But yeah, dang, that's right. They're at Golden State. Okay. Well, anyway, the game's at 9. And one of the things that needs to be said, it needs to be stated. I went to watch the movie last night. It's a great movie. I went to watch Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, nice.
And I was quite impressed. I am, had I not been a great athlete and saw David Robinson basically get 4 years cut off of his, because there's two unique people that, if they're involved in sports, there's a few things that happen. One is Sean Bradley, because he went to Brigham Young and he was Mormon. They have to go on. Mormons have to go on their mission.
Yeah.
And then in service, David Robinson obviously was in the Naval Academy. He had to go and do his service of, I think, 4 years. He might have got a relief.
I think it might have been
2 or 3. He got a reprieve, I think.
Still served,
but he did. So watching that, I really had an interest of being a naval aviator, a pilot. And so I was very intrigued when the first Maverick came out. And so I was excited. I've been busy moving, and I really wanted to go see it at the, what are the ones with all the sound?
The IMAX?
IMAX.
I heard that's how you have to see it, is the
man.
IMAX.
I wanted
That's
to
what
see
I've
it
heard.
at IMAX,
Yeah.
but I didn't get to see it.
Okay.
IMAX. That's okay. I'm going to find an IMAX that still has it. But no, right now they switched over. They're doing Jurassic Park. But anyway, I went and saw it. And so what I'm feeling right now, man, is looking at that and getting an understanding that Jason Tatum is the best player for the Boston Celtics right now as we speak. He is their leader. He has been awarded the first team All-NBA, his first one. He's been on the big stage now, but in the big stage of both the conference finals as well as this one, he is not represented. He struggled mightily on the big stage. And in this stage of the big stage, which is the finals, he is shooting a whopping 34% from the floor and a horrific 28% from 2-point range by the swarming defense of Golden State. And I don't think they're not doing anything specific. It's just something about it that he's struggling with.
Yeah.
He's a little off, right? So like my man, Kevin Wiles, he basically threw something out there because it was the same thought I had as I'm thinking about the game, that he needs to channel his inner Maverick. In the movie,
like that.
I'm not going to tell you the whole movie.
Yeah, don't spoil. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to see it in IMAX.
But there was an element in the movie where basically things were looking like it was going to take a turn for the worst. Not going to tell you the details of it, but I'm going to tell you one piece that I'm going to speak to this about. As Kevin Wiles basically said, my mind was similar. He's thinking along the same lines, but there was a moment where it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and it was very possible that when they went in, they wasn't going to come back. But Maverick took charge as the leader of that group, and he went in, and their timetable was set at a specific number. He dropped the timetable almost 45 seconds that needed to be that was the minimum amount of time based on the air defenses, the aircraft that would be arriving after these specific missiles hit this specific spot. Okay. He goes in without getting approval, and he basically shatters the time frame, right? They were having lack of confidence because they couldn't hit the mark. The team was starting to fall short and to not feel good about the mission. And Maverick shows up and he blows the doors off the timetable and basically shows them that what we're searching for in this mission, it is possible. It's not impossible. He's got a movie called Mission Impossible, but we're not talking about that.
That's not what we're talking
We're
about.
talking about it is possible.
Right.
And he does the job. And then they end up having the mission, and they all go in with a little bit more confidence than they would have went in, and all in their minds thinking they couldn't get it done. He needs to have that type of game tonight, because I'm telling you, if they do not go up 3-2, it is a wrap in 6.
I'd agree.
If they do not go up this time, it's a wrap. Right now, I'm throwing it out. Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Do you, like me, think this is a must game for the Celtics? And also, I believe that the Celtics, right now, there's been a trend, and the trend has been none of these teams have lost in their series in back-to-back games.
Right.
Will that hold true? That is the other question I want to throw out to you. Do you think that'll hold true tonight, or do the Celtics come up short in the Garden?
The only thing that I could see is that it would maybe go 7 and Boston would steal one back at home. But I agree with you. If they go down 3-2, I don't see them winning back-to-back, especially when for a game 7 you have to go back to Golden State. Let me ask you this, though. If your Celtics front office management, does this final series make you think about Jason Tatum a little bit differently? Because he's performed really well in the playoffs, but they're in the finals now. What you do in the finals matters, and especially if you're the Boston Celtics, you're basically dependent on Jason Tatum playing well, playing lights out, being elite, being a superstar, being the first team All-NBA player. Does this give you any different opinion if you're the front office for the Celtics? If not only do they not close this out, he performs like he's been performing.
Right.
It'd be in the back of my head.
I think
the
right
NBA
now
is wide. Like, if you're going to win the finals and you're the Celtics, I think this is the year to do it.
I think this is the year to do it as well. I think also you've got to look at just how well their supporting cast has been. Even though he's playing as bad as he's playing, but someone who handles the ball as much as he's playing. What I like about what he's done is, even in bad nights, he's turned it into good nights because he's worked it in the assist program.
Facilitating.
And he's facilitated very well. But some of those shots in crucial moments that are coming up short is what led to the loss of this last game. He had some great looks, some good looks, some good drives, and came up short. And in those moments, that's if you're handling the ball and you're taking those crucial shots, you can go from 7 to a deficit if you're not hitting, or you can go from 7 to a double digit if you're doing what you're supposed to do and getting the job done. So that's where I think it's a must for them, not only to win, but for Jason Tatum to turn on his inner Maverick.
I'm worried that going back to Golden State, that this game is not set up well for him to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that Golden State fan base is ruthless.
Yeah.
I mean, they over the past, I mean, you can even look when they had Baron Davis and Steven Jackson. Like, that was one of the best fan bases in basketball, for crying out loud. And it's only gotten better since Stephen Curry. But I'm worried from Jason Tatum's perspective that I don't want him to be the guy that he can get you to the finals but can't win. Because I'm worried that Jimmy Butler's kind of starting to get that reputation.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's a great player, one of the best players in the NBA, and I don't want to see Jason Tatum go down that path. I just don't.
I agree. I think there were some bad shots that were taken in crucial times for Jaylen Brown. He had a big fella on him. I can't remember who it actually was guarding at the time, but he basically makes a couple of moves. And this is where I think the three-pointer has been a detriment to some elements of the game, because you're relying on one of the least percentage shots to push leads, as opposed to the most efficient way of getting to the free throw line, putting pressure on the defense, and maybe exploiting the mid-range. And that's how Michael Jordan used to kill you.
That's not even that, too. Is I noticed this the other day, Strick, and it blew my mind that there was a 3-on-1 breakaway.
Yes.
And everyone branches out to the three-point line.
Yes.
Like, why are you not attacking the basket?
Yes.
I understand 3 points is more than 2, and the analytics might tell you whatever, but it's the NBA Finals. Like, get your points. Get the high percentage shot. It blows my mind.
I say the same thing. And I watched even Nebraska. Well, even worse than that, another a part of that is your 3-on-1 break the opposite way. Most times you're looking at 3-1 against the defense in that pressure situation, but you're 1-on-3, and for some reason in their mind, they think they can Euro step through 3 people, and in the finals that the refs are going to be giving you that garbage. No, sir. That if you're going to dive into 3 players, they are not going to bail you out. You're going to have to make that, and it's not an easy time.
It's the finals
opportunity to make. They're not giving you that. So that's another thing I was seeing is, Jason Tatum diving in and Jaylen Brown running across the lane, shooting runners, going away. I'm like, these shots are just, yes,
bizarre.
They're at this time. Those are the things we teach: time, situation, and score. You know what I mean? When you look at those pieces, there's different types of shots that can be taken at different times, depending on what time of the game it is and what their effect would be on the game. And so, yeah, man, it's kind of weird, but I wanted to throw it out there, but it is imperative. What you say? What say you? In my Yoda voice.
Yoda.
What say you? I wish I could do it. I can't do the Yoda voice.
Right.
But you know how he talks different. He talks backwards. But yeah, what say you? Do the Celtics need to get it done tonight, or is it a wrap in 6 if they don't?
It's probably a wrap.
All right.
I would have to agree with you. Let me ask you this though. Is it difficult for players to transition to the style of refereeing in the finals? Because that's one thing I've noticed is that the NBA can be so soft in the regular season, but fans don't want to see that in the finals. They want to see you bang and they want to see you play defense.
That's why there's only certain refs that get. Now they do a really deep dive into like grading.
I remember you were telling me about
their grading is
there.
crazy.
Right.
Like, that was a miss call, basically you should have put a call on that or you didn't, they get these grading systems, and based on your grading system and your tenure, that's how you're able to progress into those big games. And so usually it's going to be their best of the best guys that have seen it before. And then when they have those discussions, they're talking about those type of things. So
do referees get before the game and say, okay, this is the finals, we're going to call this differently?
Yeah, they'll get on the same page. And what you'll see is a lot of mirroring. So what you'll see is if you see one guy call one thing, they have great play recall. So you may see, it may be 10 plays later, but if you see something that was similar to that, it keeps players, keeps coaches, it keeps you consistent. So that's the thing they try to do. Even if a referee kind of messes up, you got to kind of
be consistent.
You got to be consistent with it, and you will have a talk at halftime and maybe make adjustments. But you try to stay consistent within those parts. But we got to take a break right now, and we'll come back and wrap things up here on the block at theticketfm.com on 93.7, and we'll talk a little bit of wrap up, maybe touch a few other points or dig into a little something, because LeBron James is trying to follow the GOAT, Tom Brady, possibly. I don't know. What do you think about that? We'll be back, talk about it in a sec on the block. 93.7 theticketfm.com.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Join Nebraska Public Media and Trailblazers in women's athletics Saturday, June 18th for a live event celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX legislation. Join me, Aaron Sorensen, along with 3-time Olympic medalist and Nebraska volleyball standout Jordan Larson, plus Carol Frost, Peaches James Keaton, and Brenda Van Langen. Title IX, 50 years in the making, is Saturday, June 18th at 6 p.m. in the Coliseum at UNL. Free tickets are available at nebraskapublicmedia.org/Title IX.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your Nebraska-owned premier John Deere dealership. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air?
Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
Hey, batter, batter, batter. Wings, splatter, splatter, splatter. Catch all this season's baseball action at one of your neighborhood Lincoln locations. Get League of Their Own wings, burgers, nachos, and ringers while catching all the action. Stop into Wings and Rings located on O Street in Meridian Park and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village. Or place your order online at wingsandrings.com. That's wingsandrings.com. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Spring is here. Are you giving your yard the best chance at being healthy and green? Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn to get your sprinklers ready to go for the season if they haven't been working properly. They're also scheduling installs for new sprinkler systems if you don't have one. So make sure you contact them early to get a bid as soon as possible. Plus, they're your one place to go for 5-step fertilizer and pesticide application and lawn aeration. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Join 93.7 The Ticket this week for Talkin' Trash live from Dak Shack at 48th and Layton with Nicklin Hames and Kenzie Knuckles from Nebraska Volleyball. Check out the newest place in town for lobster rolls, chicken, and daiquiris, and bring your friends out. That's this Wednesday night from 9 to 11. Talkin' Trash at Dak Shack at 48th and Layton.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. We're going to wrap it up on the block. We don't have a lot of time, but we're going to just touch a little time on this little subject right here. And listen, I'm just a lot of people don't understand that I just love sports. I'm not a basketball player only. I'm just a sports fanatic. But even more than that, I'm just a person, right? And I don't too much care for LeBron James. He ain't like my best type of guy. But I can understand him watching Tom Brady go and seeing that bag that got dumped on him and thinking that he wants to jump in. But I venture to say that the ratings would be a little bit lopsided if LeBron James is talking. I think he blew it for me when he had the decision.
That was very bizarre.
That was weird,
especially
right?
when it's like the city of Cleveland. They've embraced you. You're the hometown kid. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan either.
So the decision, so there's people that love him and hate him, but I don't know if I'd want to hear him on NBA TV.
Really?
Yeah. He wouldn't be. He's not like going to be like Chuck to me. He comes across to me as very. Like,
Charles Barkley's
fake.
Awesome.
He
Shaq too.
Yeah, those guys are authentic, right?
Right.
He comes off to me as very like fake or calculated or measured or just saying stuff to try to, you know what I mean? Like I can appreciate Patrick Beverly more than I can appreciate like LeBron's take.
Well, the guy that I'm liking now, and I don't know about you, is JJ Redick.
You like JJ?
He speaks his mind. I mean, he
does.
he
He'll
will
get
let
in
you
there
hear
and
it.
grind.
He'll let
get in
you
there
hear
and
it.
grind.
So
I may not like his takes all the time, but
Right.
at least he stands for his take,
right.
whatever his take
So
is.
you're saying they should get someone a little bit less controversial than LeBron?
I would venture to say, I would say, like, if he wasn't so shy and kind of so reserved, I think Steph Curry would be a good element in there. I think Kevin Durant can even be a good
Right.
one. I think he's very authentic in his takes. I would not want to hear James Harden.
No,
I don't think I'd want to hear him. If Giannis spoke a little bit more clearly and didn't sound more Grecian,
right?
I'd probably even be interested because I think he's got like a little flair and charisma about
Yeah.
him. I think LeBron tries to, have it, but for me, it just comes off as fake. That's just my thought.
I'm trying to think who in the NBA. Go ahead, text us 424-645-685. If there was someone in the NBA right now that you would want to step into the booth, who would it be? That's a good question.
because
I haven't
Mark
even thought
Jackson's
about
good.
it. Mark Jackson's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
And honestly, I know some people don't. I like Chris Webber too.
Yeah,
I really do like Chris Webber.
Yeah. And it's okay. For example, I like Jalen Rose personally, but I think he comes across LeBronish to me
Okay,
at times. Just like Funk Flair,
right.
like Ric Flair. Woo! To me, I don't know. Maybe I'm all. I don't know.
Well, see, this is the thing too is I'm pointing out guys that you played against, right? You played
Yeah.
Jalen Rose and Chris Webber.
Yeah.
Did you play against them in college? That was around the same time.
We actually played the Fab Five in in the Rainbow Classic in Hawaii, and we lost by 6.
Wow.
We got after him.
It's pretty impressive because that was a damn good Michigan
Yeah,
team. I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
Texter says Pat Beverly.
That's
Pat
what I
Beverly.
said.
And listen, I would be okay with Pat Beverly, but he's a talker.
Yeah,
He'd be
he will
talking
run
some
it. He runs
trash
it
on
up.
the sideline while the game's going
Yeah,
on.
he runs it up. But that's why, though. That's why. Like for me, Perkins, he sometimes throws me off with his antics.
He's kind of
Big
all over
Perk,
the place.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Right.
I thought Paul was getting better.
Right.
He thought early on it was a little tough. I think he's getting better. I actually like Grant Hill. I like him. I think he's pretty good.
They've started having Richard Jefferson in there a little bit more too.
Yeah.
I think he's all right.
Yeah.
I was surprised they haven't tried to get Vince Carter on at all. I think Vince
Yeah,
Carter
I
would be
thought he was
good
pretty good
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for the younger generation, they don't recognize Vince Carter like someone like I would, the slam dunk contest champion. But I always thought he was a good spokesman for the NBA. He'd be a good one.
Yeah. So so those are just some things I wanted to throw out there, but I can understand. I can understand LeBron and trying to branch out, and who wouldn't want to talk about the thing you love? And I love what look, I kind of fell into this. This was this isn't something I would be doing with my homies and my brothers and my friends and just sitting around.
I say that all the time.
But yeah, I kind of got into this, man, and I'm actually falling in love with it. I love to be able to engage. I love like guys like LER coming in, trolling me a little bit, hitting me upside the head.
They're coming after you, Strick.
They're coming at my neck. I mean, I got to be prepared tomorrow. But yeah, but it's been a good night on the block. It's been a great day on the block. What do we have coming up?
Yeah, we actually we got ticket weeknights. So Nicole Griffith is joining us. I just saw she's already in studio, and so is Nick Sainert. So we're gonna have a good crew. Ticket weeknights get underway. I'm pretty sure there's some athletes coming in as well too. So make sure that you stick with us because as we do on the ticket, we have local programming all day. Every day, all day, every day, and Strick is here for good now too. So
I'm in the building.
We got Strick is hot on the block. In the box, I don't even know how do you always say
hot on the block.
The block is hot.
The block is hot.
The block is hot. And again, ticket weeknights with Nicole Griffith. We'll have a local programming all night. So make sure that you stick with us for that. We're going to be talking all kinds of Nebraska sports, all kinds of stuff. So again, make sure you stick with us because ticket weeknights is coming up next for myself and Eric Strickland, the NBA vet. It's been a fun one. It'll be me all week next week. So make sure you stick with us on the block. 93.7 The Ticket.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air